Hi, in this video I wanted to talk to you about your homeworks and how I like them done. So take a look at Canvas, get into the course and go under modules here. And then you'll see under assignment, there's a separate video that talks about the manager write-ups. This video I want to talk about all the others. So let's take a look. Here's an assignment. Anything you need to hand in starts with the word assignment. So we'll click on manager assignment. And here's a long discussion or description. Read it. I expect you to read these things. I expect you to think about it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I spent the time writing this. Read it. One of the things to notice, panic early. Every time I ask students what they would do differently, it's almost always they would start the project earlier. But let's take a look at a couple things. One is you are going to be assigned groups of 4. I've already done that. And yes, you have to do it as a group project. You may not do it alone. I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. And it was difficult before we had to do this online, but now that we're doing it online, it's also difficult, more difficult, but it's also important to learn how to do this. During the pandemic, people have had to learn how to work remotely, how to work with people. And that's one of the things I expect you to learn out of this, is how to do that. And I know it's going to be difficult. And that's why I make the assignments are pretty easy. They're not that difficult. What's going to be difficult is working with other people. Now, one of the things you're going to be tempted to do is take this assignment. This one in particular has 4 parts to it. And you want to take those 4 parts and give each person one and then kind of put it together. Don't do that. For a couple of reasons. One is you don't learn everything you should that I expect you to get out of this. And the second thing is, what happens if somebody in your group doesn't come through? What happens if 3 people don't come through? What do you do? Then you're stuck. So what I recommend you do is do the whole thing yourself. It's easy. It's not that tough. And then get together and talk about it. Use the best ideas from everybody and put together a single thing. So there's really 2 parts to each homework. The project itself, that's this first part. And notice I want you to use, there's a word template I want you to use. And then there's an evaluation. In business, we call this a post-mortem, a thing you do after the project. We'll talk about that during the semester. But in the post-mortem, I want you to answer each of these for yourself. So first of all, there's this first part, that's the group project. And then the post-mortem that you do by yourself, individually. I want you to answer these questions. What did you learn? Now, don't blow smoke up my butt. If you didn't learn anything, you didn't learn anything. What did your group do well? What didn't go well? What would you do differently next time? And then I'd like you to give a grade to each person in your group. Some people hate to do that. They go, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. Or if you're going to be a manager someday, you're going to have to evaluate people. And now's a good time to practice. And that's going to be a big part of your grade. I'm going to make that a bigger and bigger part of your grade as the semester goes on, because I want you to think about it. And when I don't just give people a grade and say, oh, I give them an A, they did their part. That's not evaluating them. That's not looking at what they've contributed. I want you to think, what did they do? What are their good skills? Where might they improve? They can still get 100. You can still say they did a great job, but they could probably improve on their Excel skills. Okay, that's fair. But think about all that. So, panic early. Get this sucker done early. And so here's what I want you to do. You'll notice up here it says submit the assignment. I want everybody in the group to submit their project. And the project has two parts. Everybody will submit their group part, and then incorporated, you will have each your own individual postmortem. I hope that made sense, right? So if A, B, C, D are working on the project, everybody will hand in the project, but A will have on there their evaluation, B will have the project with their evaluation, C will have the project with theirs, and D will have the project with their postmortem. Okay? And you'll see down here a rubric. Here's how I intend to grade it. Notice the postmortem there is 10 points. That gets more. That increases more and more as the semester goes on. All right, so when you're all done, submit your assignment. When you look at the grades, I'll show you a different assignment. This is Yamada. You'll notice when you look at the grades, there's two parts. There's a show the rubric and view the feedback. The rubric will show how I think you did in each of the different criteria, and it'll show the points that you got. I can close that. There's this little X right here, hide the rubric. I will also, particularly in these group homework assignments, put my comments. And here you'll see my comments. But to see my comments, you have to click on this view feedback line here. Okay, otherwise you're not going to see my comments in here. All right. Otherwise it looks just like this. Make sure you view the feedback, because I will put comments in there. I realized last semester I spent a lot of time putting comments in them. I don't think anybody even knew they were there. Make sure you go look, because it's going to help you for next time, hopefully. All right. Well, that's homework assignments. Thing to remember, panic early. And if you have any questions, just ask.